Breaking news. Nnamdi Kanu have laid another course to the zoo right from the DSS dungeon. And according to the information reaching us here, the zoo rub it right on the face of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that even if the court, in all the whole court in Nigeria set him free, that they will never obey the court order. On that note and on that regard, Nnamdi Kanu opened his prophetic voice and he released anointing of course upon Nigeria, that what Nigeria is suffering now will be a child's play to what Nigeria is going to witness any moment from now moving forward. That even if they bring Barack Obama 20, Donald Trump 20, the China president and the rest of other countries doing well, that they will never have any solution for Nigeria. This is word of the prophet Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and so shall it be. Here are other headlines. Biafra Regional Affairs, Episode 7, From Kanu's Courtroom to Christian Massacres, Nigeria's Failure Laid Bare. Certificate forgery. Nnamdi must be suspended immediately. Lawyer Inibehe Effiong. IPOB slams UK Nigeria Bar Association, which is NBA, for ignoring Nnamdi Kanu's judicial persecution. Well, my people, here and other headlines, that is what we are going to treat in this very broadcast. Please, let me your listening ear as you hear the clip from the first message we have for us on this very particular hour and on this very particular day. I still remain your one and only Amandian Eze, or you can call me Ukulora One Nation, bringing to you this very important information. Please help me to circulate this message so that a lot of Biafrans is going to say amen to that prayer, or rather to that cause Mazi Nnamdi Kanu led on that country called Nigeria. Oya, please share, like, comment, and make sure you are subscribing to my channel for more interesting videos. Oya, let us go there.
Biafran Region Affairs, Episode 7. From Kanu's Courtroom to Christian Massacres, Nigeria's Failures Laid Bare. On October 5th, 2025, Radio Biafra Live, RBL, hosted Episode 7 of Biafran Region Affairs on its Twitter Space platform, delivering a hard-hitting discussion on three critical issues: the ongoing legal battle of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the systematic destruction of Igbo-owned properties in Lagos, and the relentless violence against Christians in Nigeria. Broadcast to hundreds of listeners, the program underscored the fragility of Nigerian unity, while rallying support for Biafran self-determination. The episode opened with an urgent update on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB's detained leader, whose no-case submission awaits a federal high court ruling on October 10th, 2025. Kanu faces charges of treasonable felony, with the prosecution alleging ties to terrorism and the 2020 EndSARS protests. Panelists, including IPOB's legal team, criticized the government's case as flimsy, pointing to coerced statements and a lack of credible evidence. They highlighted Kanu's deteriorating health in Department of State Services, DSS custody, citing a recent petition by international counsel Bruce Fine to the World Medical Association for urgent medical intervention. The discussion framed Kanu's trial as politically motivated, with speakers urging intensified global advocacy. Calls to action included petitions to the United Nations, lobbying U.S. policymakers like Senator Ted Cruz, and amplifying the hashtag Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Destruction of Igbo properties, economic warfare in Lagos. The second segment tackled the targeted demolition of Igbo-owned businesses in Lagos, described as a deliberate attack on Biafran economic interests. Recent incidents, such as the razing of plazas in the Trade Fair complex and a Butte Aero Market, were presented as part of a broader pattern of ethnic marginalization. Panelists referenced the economic devastation, billions in losses, and thousands displaced, while rejecting Lagos State's claims of urban planning necessity. Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu's appeal to President Bola Tinubu on October 4, 2025, to halt demolitions was noted, alongside Peter Obi's condemnation of ethnic targeting. The program argued that these actions expose the illusion of Nigerian unity, drawing parallels to historical anti-Igbo policies like the 1970s indigenization decrees. Proposed solutions included diverting Igbo investments to the Biafra land and pursuing international arbitration through bodies like ECOWAS. The segment sparked heated engagement on X, with calls for a Lagos boycott and UN probes trending under How Biafra referendum. Christian killings, silence or strategy. The final topic addressed.
YouTube, I have no right to the copyright of whatever background music you hear on this video, so please take note. I have no right to the copyright of that background music, so please, guys, let us continue listening.
The alarming rise in violence against Christians, particularly in Nigeria's Middle Belt and Northeast. Citing data from Inter-Society and Open Doors, panelists reported over 7,087 Christian deaths in 2025 alone, averaging 32 per day. Notable incidents included the June Yelawada massacre in Benue, 280 killed, and a September 23rd Boko Haram attack in Ouagamongoro, Adamawa, which destroyed a church and claimed 4 lives. The discussion debated whether government inaction reflects a conspiracy of silence or a calculated strategy to displace Christians for land grabs and cultural erasure. Panelists accused Nigerian authorities of complicity, noting the lack of prosecutions for Fulani militant and ISWAP attacks, which have killed 62,000 Christians since 2009. They echoed IPOB's narrative that Biafran Christians face disproportionate targeting, linking this to Kanu's pre-arrest warnings. Proposed responses included UN fact-finding missions, U.S. sanctions, supported by figures like Represor Riley Moore, and the establishment of Biafran safe havens. The segment resonated deeply, with listeners on X amplifying demands for international accountability. Audience engagement and broader impact. Episode 7 drew a robust audience, with hundreds joining the live Twitter space and over 500 X posts engaging with Biafra referendum and Free Men K. Callers from the diaspora and Nigeria praised the program's unfiltered analysis, while the episode trended regionally, fueling momentum for Biafran independence. The broadcast positioned Kanu's release, economic self-reliance, and protection from violence as interconnected pillars of the Biafran struggle. As the October 10th court ruling looms, Biafran Region Affairs has cemented its role as a vital platform for articulating Biafran grievances. The program's call for global pressure and a referendum underscores a growing sentiment in Nigeria's systemic failures.
So that is the first message. Now, certificate forgery Nnamdi must be suspended immediately in Ebehe Effiong. Human rights lawyer Ebehe Effiong has urged Bola Ahmed Tinubu to suspend the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation Uche Nnamdi over allegations of certificate forgery. Nigeria News report that Effiong, while responding to questions in an interview on Channel Television's Politics Today, described the allegations as grave. The lawyer expressed shock that such alleged illegalities escaped scrutiny during Nnamdi's screening before appointment. According to Effiong Inebehe, the inconsistencies in Nnamdi's academic records and the conflicting statement from the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, UNN, required urgent attention. The human rights activist added that Nnamdi should surrender himself to the police for investigation of forgery. He said, "How did all these things escape the scrutiny of the Nigerian state Security Service. As I speak to you, the State Security Service has maintained a conspirational silence. It is a conspiracy. This minister must be immediately suspended pending the conclusion of the so-called investigations. He has to surrender himself to the police for investigation for forgery. Otherwise, they will be telling Nigerians that we are running a government of certificate forgers and criminality. Meanwhile, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has said that the party is not surprised that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has returned Uche Nnamdi in the federal government. This is coming after the University of Nigeria Nsukka and the NYSC disowned the certificates he presented for his appointment. In a statement to NigeriaNews.com on Monday signed by Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, the party's National Publicity Secretary, the ADC described the Tinubu's government silence as proof of its ample tolerance for corruption of all kinds. The party, described as a great disservice to the country, which has many qualified citizens of competence and integrity, to have at the head of a ministry meant to drive innovation, a man tainted with such dubious credentials. Tell me anybody in Tinubu's government that don't have a certificate issue. It's under Tinubu's government that somebody bring a national brought secondary school certificate, and when he was being asked questions, he couldn't defend what is even written on the certificate they gave to him. And in conclusion, he said he attended only primary school. They have to pay somebody else to go to secondary school for him. And then got him a certificate. And he was appointed as minister. When the water spoiled from the beginning, from the head, then the tail is nonsense. Tinubu is a certificate forger, which everybody know. CSU, Chicago State University. That shenanigan is still out there pending. Anyway, let us complete our news, because we will not continue talking about all these morons and forget the rating that brought us here. So here is another news. IPOB slams UK and NBA for ignoring Nnamdi Kanu's judicial persecution, because this one is not persecution again, it is persecution. Oya, let us listen to this message.
IPOB slams UK, NBA for ignoring Nnamdi Kanu's judicial persecution. On October 6, 2025, the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, issued a blistering statement condemning the United Kingdom and the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, for their shameful and cowardly silence amid what it calls the blatant judicial persecution of its leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The British Nigerian citizen, detained since his extraordinary rendition from Kenya in June 2021.
Please, if you are watching, kindly help me to circulate this video. Please, share. That is the only thing you can do, and that is your own part of this job. Nobody, we can't do it alone. We need you. So if you watch, help me to circulate the message. Let it go viral.
Faces terrorism charges in a trial IPOB deems a sham, plagued by legal violations. IPOB spokesperson Emma Powerful's statement accuses both entities of complicity in undermining justice, positioning Kanu's case as a critical test of global and national legal standards. IPOB's grievances highlight a perceived betrayal by institutions meant to uphold the rule of law. Nigeria's judiciary has mangled justice for 4 years, Powerful stated, citing the Supreme Court's reversal of a 2022 Court of Appeal discharge through dubious means, Kanu's detention without legal counsel in breach of constitutional rights, reliance on fabricated DSS witnesses, and prosecution under the repealed 2013 Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act. IPOB slams the NBA, tasked with safeguarding legal integrity, as cowering in fear, rendering Nigeria's judiciary unworthy of respect. The UK faces even harsher scrutiny as Kanu's home country. IPOB accuses Britain of hypocrisy, noting its silence while Nigeria tramples on common law principles. The global movement recalls the UK's vocal opposition to Nigeria's 1984 attempted rendition of Umaru Dikko from London, branding its current inaction as complicity tinged with anti-Biafran bias. Would Britain stay silent if this were any other citizen? For a Biafran, they turn a blind eye, the statement reads. IPOB demands that the UK and NBA justify their silence and advocate for Kanu's fair treatment, warning that his case reflects the decay of Nigeria's judiciary and the moral failure of justice's defenders. Powerful added, history will judge those who stood mute as the law was buried. Kanu's ordeal underscores Nigeria's contentious approach to IPOB's self-determination call. Arrested in 2015 for treasonable felony, he fled for his life in 2017 after his home was invaded by Nigerian military, re-emerging in Israel and broadcasting via Radio Biafra from the UK. His 2021 Kenyan abduction, ruled unconstitutional by a Kenyan court, drew global condemnation, including a 2022 UN opinion urging his release. Though discharged by Nigeria's Court of Appeal in 2022, the Supreme Court's 2023 reversal sent him back to trial. Ongoing proceedings at Abuja's Federal High Court under Justice James Omotosho are shrouded in secrecy, with IPOB decrying restricted media access in May 2025 and demanding live broadcasts per Nigeria's constitution. Recent hearings involved Kanu's personal items, dismissed by IPOB as ordinary, and evidence like the death certificate of former aide Ahmed Gulak, tied to alleged IPOB-linked violence. In August 2025, Kanu petitioned the NBA to sanction 3 judges for alleged bias and misuse of repealed laws. IPOB's statement aligns with its broader appeals to global powers like the UK, UN, and US, framing Kanu's detention as a symbol of Nigeria's ethnic strife and judicial rot. The movement claims each court session costs taxpayers 500 million naira, with officials allegedly profiting. Kanu's family, in August 2025, accused Britain of suppressing evidence and ignoring its own extradition laws, as Kanu's alleged offenses occurred in the UK, where IPOB operates legally. As of October 6, 2025, neither the NBA nor the UK Foreign Office has responded, intensifying IPOB's claims of institutional apathy. Amid rising southeastern insecurity, which IPOB attributes to government repression while denying involvement in violence, Powerful declared, "The world is watching." The silence of the UK and NBA could shape not only Kanu's fate, but also the legitimacy of justice in a nation wrestling with its federal divides.
So that is the end of the news, and I'm very sure you understand it line by line. What have been said on the news, on the actions that need to be taken, and that things also need to be taken into cognizance. Well, asinya banaka ejuenye lawyer, and from Mayo Toto, early morning palm wine, they know they use and play. So this one, the voice is very, very clear to everyone who want to understand. So keep sharing so that it will get the appropriate number of shares it's supposed to be, because this message always, it really need to go viral. Anyway, have a nice day, and may good Lord continue to bless us all.